Hey guys, apology in advance for the heater. It is cold in here and it doesn't matter if I put a jacket on or gloves or anything. I'm freezing cold today. It is currently January 13th, 4:25 p.m. and it's time to panic again. So if you don't know this already, Serial Killers Anonymous is the book that I was hoping to publish this year. It's a crime novel mixed with some comedy, which most of my books have comedy. None of them are like 100% serious all the time. That's too much for me, and that's too much for the average reader. But I had to scramble to choose that book to put out this year, because initially I was going to put Carver Baxter out, but that needs some more rewriting, and I'm still not done with the final book, and I don't want to publish the series until I have the whole series written. So now, we're at a point where Serial Killers Anonymous should have been at least through the first 6 or more edits by this point, and I'm still on edit 1. The rewrite is taking much longer than planned, much longer. There were at least 2, if not 3 months last year where I was barely doing anything at all, not just with Serial Killers Anonymous, but with everything. And that deeply impacted my progress on Serial Killers Anonymous, and I'm not going to be able to get it out this year. So now it is time to scramble and find another book that I can put out this year. When it comes down to it, the only book that I have that can go out that is finished, technically, that I know of, is Beatings from a Butcher. Everything else, a series is not completed. It needs something else to go out first. I'm not 100% sure of how solidified a certain series is, because it will be impacted by a book that I haven't written yet, and that's why certain series haven't gone out yet, even though they're done. Stuff like that. So, when it comes down to it, Beatings from a Butcher is, as far as I know, the only other book that I have that can possibly go out right now. Which isn't great. But here we are. I have well over 40 books completed and just sitting around. And I can't do anything with most of them because there are other things that I need to write first to make sure that what is in those books is solidified. Just as like a reference point, the Bo Austin series relates to the Grimm series, and the things that happened in the original Grimm series haven't actually happened. Those aren't going to happen in the rewrite of Grimm, because I wrote those things in it, because I was writing dramatic scenes every chapter in every single book that I wrote. So a lot of that stuff is going to be removed. So when the Grimm series is rewritten, the Bo Austin series will be rewritten to reflect the changes that occurred in the Grimm series. So if I put out the Bo Austin series now, you can see where the problem would be, right? So that's how it is with a lot of my stuff, and that's how we come up on Beatings from a Butcher. If King of Darkness was completed, that could go out, but it's not completed, unfortunately. If I was able to finish it like this month, I'd still have a chance of being able to get it out, but I don't think that's going to happen. If my Hospital Zombie book was complete, that could go out, which still doesn't have a name, so that's part of the problem. But that's not done. If I had ever completed Calvin, that could go out, but again, I didn't. I ended up scrapping that one. A whole bunch of things like that. I have a lot of books that if I had finished them, they could go out, or if they were done, they could go out. Or if I had been able to continue with a series without needing to rewrite it, those could go out. But unfortunately, we aren't there with anything but Beatings from a Butcher. So today, I'm going to open that document and read through it and see how fucked I am. Because I know there are some things in Beatings from a Butcher that just don't really make sense at all. And that definitely need to be reworked in the grand scheme of things, but we're going to look through it and see how much fixing it needs, and then go from there. But I'm going to scrap my other plans for the day. I'm going to do that instead, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I have an answer how things went. But I'm going to go ahead and search for it here on Google Docs, find it, open it, and hope that it's not too bad, because it's been a while since I've opened it. So that's what we're starting with. Alrighty, it is 6:42 p.m. and I think I can make Beatings from a Butcher work. It needs some work, but not nearly as much as Serial Killers Anonymous or Letters from a Madman, which was the previous book in this Riley PD series. So I'm going to go get the notebook for this series, hopefully, open up a new doc, and start the rewrite edit. So I will see you guys with an update at some point, but I'm going to get into it and hope for the best. Apologies in advance for the heater. You guys know the drill. Today is the 14th, but we're going to go ahead and talk about yesterday, which was day one of the Beatings from a Butcher rewrite edit. Things went very, very well. Apologies for the light change. I opened Chrome like 3 minutes ago and it's just now opening. But I wrote 2 complete chapters, rewrote 2 complete chapters, and that was 3,112 words in Beatings from a Butcher. Things went very well. I'm already developing a lot more for one of the main characters, James Fletcher, than I had before. He's much internally snarkier than before, so he has much more personality. Snarky obviously isn't the only personality trait in the world, but it's definitely something that I think works for James. I started writing Beatings from a Butcher around the same time that I scheduled my appointment with the rheumatologist to find out if I had rheumatoid arthritis. And because of that, James he's a man in his mid-60s, has arthritis, and so at the time, James is probably one of the only characters that I've ever done it for, but I was using him as a venue of exploration and a venue to just get out all of the feelings that I had about my pain and the potential for a diagnosis and all of that. Unfortunately, I still don't have a diagnosis, but I suppose fortunately I don't have rheumatoid arthritis or any of the other arthritises that I was tested for. But that's where James spawned from. And because of that, now I am working to develop him with things that I think make sense for someone who's in constant pain, because I know a bit about that lifestyle. But I'm very happy with the way that things are going. I haven't added any scenes, I haven't taken away any scenes, but I have added a lot more words in thought processes, dialogue changes, descriptions, stuff like that, and I'm very happy with the changes that are being made there. But at the moment, that's all that I have today here on the 14th. I'm going to start by working on The Beheading of Glenn Daniels, which is a book that if you watch all of my work in progresses, you'll hear about in the crime series. And then after that, I'm going to circle back around to Beatings from Butcher and see if I can't crank out another 2 chapters today. But we will see. I'm very cold. I've got this for my hands to keep my knuckles at least a little bit warm. And we'll go from there and see how things go. But I will see you guys with an update when I have one, and until then, I am going to get to work. Hey guys, it is currently 3:27 p.m. on January 15th. Yesterday I did not get around to working on Beatings from a Butcher, and that's okay. Sometimes that just happens. Most of yesterday was ravaged by a horrible, god-awful headache that no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of. If you're new here, you don't know this, but I can't take anything but Tylenol. I can't take ibuprofen or Advil or anything like that because of my anxiety meds double as a chronic pain treatment, and so I'm not able to take anything that deals with inflammation, basically. And that would be, I think it's pronounced NSAID. I don't think it's spelled out by the letter, but ibuprofen and all of those deal with inflammation, and I can't take any of those. Tylenol isn't very effective for me. Most pain medications aren't. It doesn't really matter how little I take them or how much I take them. They have little to no effect on my pain, including headaches, unfortunately. I did take Tylenol twice yesterday, I think, and tried to sleep it off, tried to just distance myself from technology as much as I could in hopes that that was it, but it wasn't. So I had a pretty nasty headache most of the day. I was sick to my stomach most of the day and into the evening and into this morning. It didn't feel great. So this morning I just edited a Wednesday animal video, belated obviously because it's Friday, but that's okay. And from there I went to sleep and just slept on through because I was not going to deal with anything else. But currently I feel okay. That's normally the case. Normally when I wake up in the afternoons I feel relatively okay. I normally don't have a headache for at least a couple hours, and I normally don't feel gross for at least a couple hours, which is great. So I'm going to try and take advantage of those couple hours before a headache sets in again. I do tend to suffer from headaches pretty much every single day now. I don't remember the last day that I lived completely headache-free. You know, going with the flow. But I do have my neck warmy thing here that I'm wrapping my hands in, and hopefully they will be functional enough to type out at least 2 chapters on Beatings from Butcher. If I can aim for more, that would be excellent, because the faster that I can get through the rewrite, the faster I can get through everything else, which, since this is a last minute spring in my step, hopefully I'll be able to just get right through it. Beatings from a Butcher, again, doesn't need as much help as Serial Killers Anonymous does, and it doesn't need as much help as Letters from Madman did, which is good. So, hopefully with all of that, I'll be able to get through it quicker, but we'll see. But at the moment, I'm going to warm up my hands, drink my coffee, eat my breakfast, and go from there. So, I'll see you guys when I have an update on actual progress in Beatings from a Butcher. It is currently 8:29 p.m. and I just finished chapter 4 of Beatings from Butcher, the rewrite edit. Chapter 4 is a shorter one because it's from the primary suspect's point of view, but that's okay. So I've been taking notes as I go, and I can't take notes anymore. My right wrist, which is the one that is my dominant hand, I write with it, is killing me, and my right wrist is the one that needs a new wrist brace. I don't know what it is. It's the brace that I have for my right hand is the same one I have for my left hand. They're the same brand, same size, same everything. The only difference is the one for my right hand is newer, but it fits weird here, and it's like very tight and almost painful. It's not really tight, but it's painful because I can like feel the splint, I think, in it up here, and it hurts a lot, so I don't wear it, even though I should. But I can't do any more writing because of that. I can't wear the brace and rest my hand on that painful spot and write. So I'm done working on Beatings from a Butcher for now, unfortunately. But I did write 1,816 words in it, which is something, and I got through 2 chapters today, which is also something. Both very good accomplishments and progress moving forward and all of that. Currently the book is at 4,928 words, which is great, and I'm happy with the progress that is occurring. So far there has only been one major change. There have been a lot of minor changes with characters, adding more description, adding more inner thoughts, stuff like that, adding more details about the other characters that are not the main characters. But the major change here is something revolving around the suspect, Peter. He initially, it says here, still, he had ditched his suit in a Walmart bathroom and he had changed into the clothes he had bought at the Dollar Tree with cash. He had bought bleach for his hair at Target, also with cash. Thankfully, he had gotten to the stores before word of his crimes had hit the media. He'd lose his kids, he'd lose his job in the house, he'd lose his wife, but if he was good enough, maybe he could lose the cops too. That makes no sense for Peter's character. At the time, Peter was still new to me, so I didn't know much about him, and I learned more about him as the book went on, so during Draft 2, it would be fixed. Draft 2 is what I'm doing right now, the rewrite edit, so we're fixing that. Peter would not have prepared in advance to run from the police. That does not fit who he is as a person, and that does not fit what he believes is the crime that he committed. Doesn't fit at all. He would have just gone to this motel room, and that was it. He's still wearing the suit he was wearing when the crime occurred, and all of that. So things have been changed there to include a different mission, which is to get to Los Angeles to make sure that he doesn't end up in prison, and to make sure that his wife doesn't get custody of the kids. That's the goal. Those aren't really big spoilers, because the reasons that he believes those things and the reasons he doesn't want any of these things are stuff that are revealed as the book goes on. So just telling you the little detail there isn't an issue. But I'm happy with progress today, and that's about all I can ask for most of the time. So I'm going to move out to the living room, maybe do some more writing eventually, but for now I think I'm just going to have some coffee and sit on a heating pad and go from there. But that's all that I have for right now, and that's all that I have for this video on Beatings from Butcher. So I will see you guys in another work in progress video with more progress updates on this book, but otherwise that is all that I have for right now. If you enjoyed this video, a like is always appreciated, and if you'd like to stay updated on my writing, my editing, the animal videos I upload roughly every Wednesday, or the gaming videos that I upload roughly every Friday, or anything that I do on this channel in between, feel free to subscribe. All the links to my authors pages, as well as links to my social media, are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.